Hello, hello, hello. Hey. 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 Good evening. Good Saturday evening to everybody. I hope you are well and blessed. Karibuni sana to another Masksoff edition 2021. Children of God, Naitwa. Children of God, that is okay to say yes. Yes. How are you today? I hope you are well and blessed this evening. Karibuni sana to another session. Let me just say some quick shout out to Peter Kitavi. Hey, kwani unalalanga? You wake up and sleep here. Please, it's like you have shares. Karibu sana. Ivy, wow, your name is hard. But hi, Ivy, and Leslie with the big hair, and Brian, Shiki Sam, Jerome De La Bogi Jan, what? Japan. Thank God you guys have had names. But it's okay. Karibuni sana nyinyi wote. Welcome again to another session of Masksoff. Yes, today we have my face here. I hope that is a blessing to each one of you. It's 2020, guys. So karibisha watu wenyu. As usual, kuna hiyo triangle hapo chini. There's like a triangle that just looks like those paper, what are they called? Paper planes that we used to have back in the day. Just press it, click on it, and share it with anyone who you want to join this, who you want to join in this conversation. Because today we're going to have a fun conversation. I have wonderful guests for you here. Wako tayari kushare. Wameshika biros. In fact, all of them are holding biros. So they're really ready for this conversation as is. So yes, karibisha, call your people, call all of them. Peter is telling me my joy is contagious. Hallelujah. Receive wherever you are. Whatever kitchen you're cooking in, receive. All right, Mark anasema 21. Oh, I said 2020. Guys, forgive me. Honestly, 2021 feels like a continuation of 2020, but the grace is sufficient. So you know what? But it's a new year. That's why we're planning. And that's why we're talking about planning. And so, yes, bring your best biros to this conversation because we're going to have a good day today. So, karibuni kila mtu, karibu sana Kitavi G, Makigen, Kiraguri, Janet, we see you. Yes, please take some help to also invite your friends even as we start this conversation. And before I even go any further, let's just take some time to pray and dedicate this session to God. Cindy, let's pray. Father, we thank you so much for this day. Thank you that you're so good. You've been so gracious and so kind to at least give us a gift of a new day, another night, another day in this 2021. And so, Father, even as we have this conversation tonight, may you be with us. May your presence be felt so tangibly tonight. May you just move with us, O Lord, and guide this conversation. And at the end of it, I'll be sure to glorify your name. It's in your mighty name we do pray. Amen. All right. Karibuni sana, guys. Today, like last week, as the guys were here, it was a boys club. So today we are going to change it up and have a girls club. I don't know. Yeah, that's something. Yeah. And so today we'll just start off again with a small, brief, entertaining, what's it called? Trivia. And so I'm gonna ask you some questions even as people trickle in. Karibu sana Ian David, Pastor Brian, Stephen Wangara, Judian. Yes, I'm correct. Judian Mwango. Yes, karibu sana all of you. Remember to karibisha watu wengine. Oh, sorry, I said boys. Men's club. My apologies. I say men. Nano nimeandikia hapo boys na question mark. Men. And today we'll have proper ladies in the house. Yes. So karibuni sana, guys. Yes, as I was saying, we have a short men's club. Sawa. Well received, Stephen. We are so sorry, Pastor. Very sorry. Yes. Okay. So let's have a short trivia, that you guys can just just key in your answer, whatever answer you have. Hopefully the right one to these trivias, and then after that we'll be sure to have this conversation. Okay. So question number one. What does the red which color? I'm a red stripe on the Kenyan flag signify or symbolize? Rudini kwenye geography books zenyu. Was it geography? God, no. History. Oh my God. Yes. Go back to your history books and tell us, what does the red stripe of the flag, what does it mean? The red one. Somebody tell us the answer. We're ready. We're ready. Blood. Somebody says blood. Yes. Dimigan says blood. Any other answer? That's true. That's true. Any other answer do we have for the night? Any other answer? The bloodshed. This seems like mnasaidiana. Moja anaanza blood, mwingine bloodshed. Someone, yeah, you see, guys are helping each other here. Yes, bloodshed by freedom fighters. That's correct. It reminds us of them days when people are fighting for our rights, and all of you are right. It's very right. Bloodshed by those, Leslie says, bloodshed by those who fought for independence? Question. Teta says, Damu. Nyekundu ni ya damu. Actually, there's a song that actually says that. Nyekundu ni ya damu. It's fine. I don't even know I'm laughing. Anyway, all right. That's correct. All right. Next question. Yes, next question. Which, this one is a bit easy. I just want to see if you'll spell her name correctly. But which female of a different race than the majority of that country has made history in the last few days? Which woman with very good hair? Lady, let me say lady, woman. She has good hair. She looked nice. She was wearing coats. And the next day, everyone in the office was wearing long coats, including myself. So which lady has made, the streets buzz this last week? Someone has said Kamala. That's what's her full name. Kamala, yes, Cruella. Well, that's the name, it's hard. Querula. Has said Kamala Harris. That's true. That is very true. You're correct. Asante sana. Asante. Your name is so hard. I'll call you Kwe. Karibu. Thank you so much, Kwe. Yes, Janet Nakabi says the Vice President of USA. Yes, the First Lady. We are going places. We are going places, people. All right. I think final question for now, and then we can get into the conversation for today, is what was the regular time? What was the regular time that Masksoff used to be held at before Corona hit? That one is for the OGs. Those guys used to come to Masksoff. Kitambo, what time did that session used to start? Kitambo, back in the days. So that people know when you open and reopen, God willing, what time they should be preparing their legs to come to church. What time did we used to have and hold Masksoff? Back in the day, anyone? I'm waiting for your answers. If not, I will have the one and only Yvonne Miranda just come and tell them. Uambie venye time za Masksoff zilikuwa back then. I think Miranda, you can answer for them, even as they think. Echa amesema 5:30 after. Is that correct?
Yes, 5:30 p.m. ndio ilikuwa inaanza.
At what day?
Sorry? On every last Saturday of the month, at 5:30 p.m. kulikuwa na Masksoff na ilikuwa moto sana. Kulikuwa yani everything. Kulikuwa hata na movie night. I mean, kama ulikuwa na miss out, my friend, tukifungua, please bring your legs. Bring your people.
Bring all of it. Bring all of them. Yes, that's correct. We used to have our services every 5:30 p.m. at ICC Nairobi at the Frontana Sanctuary. And so we are praying and hoping that that can be a reality soon, so that we can get at least to onane. We stop seeing each other across screens and know each other only by our Instagram handles. And now start, bonding, community. You never know. But yes, community. So yes, 5:30 used to be our time. And yeah, I'll keep asking questions as we go, but for now, let me bring the conversation to a start. Today, we're talking about, are we planning? And it's basically a conversation around planning and planning for the year. That is there relevant to it? Is there a place for planning? And tulianza hii conversation last week with our host, Steph, who hosted us very well and asked, the question was, tunaplania nini? 2020 was already 2020. and there was a lot of uncertainties that hit us, both good and bad. Everyone was going through. We planned, and things happened differently, and so we're asking ourselves: Is there kuna haja kweli? Is there a need to plan again for this year? And clearly, we've gone through a year when only God could hold us. Yes, and so that's why I'm picking up the conversation today, and I'm just going to talk about the how and the why. Why are we planning? Why is there a need to plan? How are we planning? And I think the first question I just want to ask Muranda is, do you plan? Where do you plan? What is a plan, first of all? Do you plan? What is planning for you as Muranda?
Yes, I plan very much. I even plan my own conversations, my own arguments and with people and etc. But yes, I plan. Yes, I plan my arguments, my friend. Tukikosana na wewe, just know, hiyo arguments ilipigwa pale hivyo race. Nimeona kenye utasema, kenye mimi nitasema, kenye utasema, venye tutaconclude, venye tutaagree, venye tutaagree in peace, venye tutataka in peace. But anyway, a plan for me is writing down or outlining your actions, the ones that you're going to take, your decision, your actions that you're going to take in order to attain a goal. Say unataka to lose 10 kgs. So planning is you writing down your actions, zile actions utatake. Utafanya nini? I'll eat less. I'll do in fasting. I'll exercise at home. So that's planning to me, is outlining your actions in order to attain a certain goal. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Thank you for saying that. But it's true. Actually, sorry to bring our agenda here, but it's true. As women, by the time you're coming to ask us, we have already planned the whole conversation, and the tone you're delivering it. So you better come correct. Okay. Thank you for sharing, Miranda. I'll throw this on to Maria as well, and just ask Karibu sana Maria. Just tell us, why planning? What is it about planning that you like, that you don't like? What is planning? Is it a biro? Is it an app? What is it?
I think like it can take so many different forms, but for me, planning is honestly the stewardship of the life that you've been given, and then being intentional with the life that you have. So I mean, just even taking it back to, I think it's Psalm 90, somewhere there, when it talks about like teach us to number our days that we may present before your heart of wisdom. And I think part of that wisdom is like recognizing this is the number of days I have in this life, and this is how I'm going to steward that intentionally.
Okay, I hear you. So, when you're saying that there are many types. I mean, it can take different shapes. So, what kind of tangible and practical ways can we give people to have at the back of their minds even when they're thinking of, okay, so I've never planned a day in my life. I just wake up. I don't even plan what I'm going to wear tomorrow. I just wake up. If I feel dressy, I will dress. If I feel trousery, I will trouser. So what are the kinds of different ways that planning can like tangible for people who are listening today?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what season you are in life also, because like if you're in school, planning looks different. If you're working, if you have a family, but it can be like just planning your health, like Miranda was saying, like in terms of like your health goals. It can be financial goals. It can just be like even your relationships, um, your personal development. So it can take so many forms. It can be planning for, a whole year. Like I used to plan, I used to have a 10-year plan, a 5-year plan. None of those things have happened. But there's also like you can plan for your month, you can plan for your day. There's people who plan every hour of their lives, Miss Jaffe Capo, but then yes.
Every hour, I can barely just get an outfit as in the day before, just to know what I'm any. First of all, we need deliverance for that. But yeah, thank you for sharing. Okay. Next question, I think we'll go to our one and only Pastor Stella, who's joined the call today. And I think for you, I'll just ask you, yeah, first of all, do you plan, and how does planning look like for you? And then from there, it's why planning? Why planning over everything in this world? Like, why planning?
Wow. Thanks, Amy. I think planning takes many forms, like we've all said, depending on the season and whatnot. But I think the necessity of planning really is so that we have our best foot forward, and also, I mean, because we're also really advocating for, as believers, walking in tune with what God has in store for us, that we are doing our best to fulfill in tune with Him what He has in store for us. I think I was remembering today when in Jeremiah He says that He has plans to prosper us. The only way, He can allow us to be prosperous is that there's activity and work to that, right? And I think the other verse that comes to mind is, for we are God's workmanship created in Christ Jesus to do good works like that He prepared in advance for us, right? And so as we were talking, we've talked about like disciplining ourselves health wise, just having some sort of goals in mind on, this year I want to cut down on the excessive snacking, on just carbs, without a healthy diet. So for some of us who are able, maybe you can go ahead and tell yourself, okay, I'll write a small timetable and stick it on my fridge or on the wall in my kitchen, and my meals will look like ABCD, so that at least I know I've had my fruit, nini, my veggies, my carbs, and all of that. If you struggle with taking water, buy a big water bottle and then carry it purposefully. That's planning to hydrate, right? If you're, on a medical journey of sorts, it means, take up your phone, right? I think I love that there's alarms on your phone and a calendar, and write your next doctor's appointments, your medication, when you need to fill up that prescription, and so on and so forth. And we could go on and on and on. But I think, heavily today, I think it's also just thinking about finances, we were joking earlier with each other, Amy and Marie and the rest of the gang, and we were saying, there's like so many mobile apps, especially on the loaning side, right? And I'm sure guys on the comment section can tell us how many apps can you come up with. Niliacha kukiwa na Tala, I think Mobi app or something. There's like a whole list of them, right? And so many guys go in there and take a loan. And then I've been in rooms where nasikia msa anasema, unajua sisi, usinitumie kwa hii line, usitumie kwa hii line, ikiingia tu hivi itakatwa. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, like now you're just being haunted by your own cash drama, cash life. So there's a necessity in planning, right? Because it helps us to look forward and anticipate the days ahead. And yes, sometimes we do need to take necessary loans, right? Like to buy assets and stuff like that. But how do we help ourselves to plan better for emergencies and for things ahead of time? Even cleaning, like, do you have a cleaning plan for that kahao of yours? Whether you're living with your parents, in your servant's quarter, or wherever you are currently, like, do you have a plan on how to get things done, bills paid? I love Safaricom. The app at least tells you, it even has a page where you can have your bill reminders and stuff like that, so that you pay your bills. Usikatiwe stima kimadharau last minute kaizo. So just those thoughts, come to mind when we think about planning, like different ways to panga yourself and ensure that you're trying to make life easier for yourself even.
Okay, thank you. Hata hadi kwa financial planning. Hey, as we leave alone, that's fine. But we are getting there. Okay, so I hear what you're saying. You're saying there are different ways of planning. Sometimes when we hear the word plan, we just think spreadsheets or etc. And so thank you for making it a bit lighter. It can be a sticky note that reminds you. You can be a planner through a to-do list. And so I'm even curious to know, even for Muranda, are you an Excel sheet person? Like, how does planning tangibly look for you? Do you prefer pencils to biros? Like, what is this planning experience for you?
Oh, so planning for me, I know I'll seem a bit weird, but I have a to-do list book. It's a small notebook. It's 18 shillings. It's a small notebook. I don't see it as a small notebook. I have a planner that's just Leo Nikona shoot because I manage my brother. So Lord, we have a shoot. What do we need? What do we need to hire? How much money? Prior to that, like at night, I do also a shoot for this location. How much money do we need? Transport, nini. So that's just my planning for like business, vitu kama hizo. And then I have a journal. All right? And I write everything that has happened, during the whole day. Nini nilifanya, niliamka aje, nilifanya nini. So I like writing, but when it comes to finances, I'll use Excel, because Excel will show you, it is big, it's huge. The sheet is huge, so it will show you pesa ngapi unatumianga, itakuonyesha budget yenye ulikuwa umeshatengeneza, itakuonyesha expenses zako, itakuonyesha tu. Spreadsheet is important because it will just show you everything. It will show you kuna transparency. It will show you it will calculate your money. It will do your calculations on some, in short, for those who don't like calculating things. It will show you so much, and I think that's important for me in my finance section. But is it zingine, I like writing because I'm an old school girl, born 90. Anyway, yeah, so that's just that. What else do I need to say? Yeah, that's just, yeah, I like writing. Yeah.
Okay, I have a follow-up question for you. So is planning a before thing, an ongoing thing, and thing you do after? Do you use your money and then go and plan and write it down? So is it
No.
where do we place planning in our system of life and doing life?
Personally, I do it before. Even spiritually, like I have my Bible plans on my U version, so I read it before. For finances, I do it before. If I go for my grocery shopping, lazima niandike nyanya ni how much, okay, sasa nitanunua ya how much, ngapi ndo zinahitajika kwa nyumba, zitakaa for how long, aya twende carrots nini, kama ni shopping ya vitu mafuta, kama ni shopping ya nguo, I have to do it before. Naeka list, naandika alafu naishove wapi? Pale sehemu, kwa sababu haiwezi onekana. Ndio nikienda mahali natoa hivi naona top nilikuwa ninunue 2, stick to top 2 peke yake please. Hata nikiona top ya neon sijui what, sijui inakaa marigold or sijui which color, oh hell no, I'm not going for it. I am going to stick to my 2 tops peke yake. So I do it before. I mean, finances, I do it before. If ni kwa bathroom, kama ni tissue nimekuwa nikitumia the most expensive one, nasema you know what, kuna haka kingine kamekuja Hanan, kidogo ni mzuri, ni soft, but kidogo ni pesa kidogo kushinda hiyo ingine. So I do it before. Yes.
Oh my God, Miranda. Hey, thank you. Okay. But it's true. You're saying the truth. There's some people who have notebooks, we don't have papers or pages because they were tucked in somewhere. So it's okay. You're saying the truth. All right. I want to throw this question to Maria and just ask, what's your flavor? What's your flavor in terms of planning? What's your routine, or what are you using? Because I've seen someone here who says they use Google planners. Are you old school? You have to feel that imetoka kwa body yako through your biro onto the paper. So what's your flavor?
Oh yeah, like Miranda was saying, for finances specifically, it has to be Excel because numbers are not my strength. And then I want to be able to track ongoing. But then for everything else, it's old school. Like I just have like a kawaida. It depends. Sometimes that's a kawaida notebook, and then you just make sections, and you're making plans for whether it's for school or for health, for money, for rest. Like I even have to plan in rest and stuff, and just how I'm accountable for those different. Yes, Amy, I see you.
I'm learning. Today I'm here. I'm the one who's taking it all in. So we're also planning for our rest. Take us through. What does that look like?
So it looks like, first of all, especially if you're juggling many different things, whether it's school, it's family, it's responsibilities, burnout is very easy. And that's looking at mental health, just even amongst us, you have to find time to schedule in. How do you rest? How do you take time away? How do you, whether it's recreation, if you're in the creative arts, if you're in sports, whatever it is, even planning out, okay, once a month, I'm going to go outdoors and I'm going to go do this or that. Once a week, maybe I'll take time offline, and actually having that already planned so that you're kind of taking care of your mental health as well. So I also plan for that. It's a bit extreme, but burnout is real, and I've learned.
don't think anything is extremely extreme. There must be a reason, and clearly you have tested and tasted and seen that you needed to kind of sort that out. Okay, so I think I even want to take it back again to you, and because I know you have some planners want you to tell us and share more about. So what first of all is a planner, and what's the difference between a planner and a journal and a notebook, like a normal one? Like what we have different many paper let me say products. So what is the value of having those the dotted ones, the ones which are monthly? Yeah. So what is a planner in this?
I know, like you can take a journal and actually make it into a planner. And there's people who like, whether it's you like to like draw a lot more, you need a lot more space, you can do whatever you want with that. So it's easy to turn a journal to a planner. But a planner that's already printed has kind of like, it starts off with a year and what your goals are for that year. And then it goes down to the month. And then from the month, it goes down to the days. So yeah, so that's just basically what a planner is.
Okay, so now I want to tell us about your planner. I know you have a unique one, or rather, just walk us through. There's a product you have in terms of making planners. So just tell us the whole space and what you are thinking and why you even decided to create. Are the ones that are there not enough? Like what was your thought process around that journey?
I mean, the ones that are there are good, but then I began to notice like some of these planners, there wasn't enough space to like plan even spiritually. Yes, you can be able to like plan things for your day in terms of like, your to-do lists for the day, your assignments or whatever, but I wasn't able to keep track of even spiritual growth. Like, how am I being intentional with my Bible life? What are the things I can look back and say that the last month God was faithful? So I wanted to have a planner that's able to like have, this is a praise report. This is what God did this month. This is what I'm still believing for. This is who I'm praying for. So that by the end of the year that you're going back and saying, and yeah, God showed up. And what I was struggling with in January is not the same thing I was struggling with in April. So it kind of like helps you see like even God's faithfulness over a period of time.
I see that. So okay, so clothes, rest, now spiritual. I'm learning where we can put some extra time. Okay, so I like that. So if someone would like to like get their hands on a planner, like the one you're talking about, where would they go, or where would they find you or find the page?
I think you can find it on my personal page. There's a link there. If you go to faithfulfollower.net, you can also get it.
faithfulfollowers.net. Okay, tutawaandikia hapo kwa comment section so you can also, yeah. Okay, so
Yes.
thanks for that. That was a unique point that I wanted to point out. Thank you so much for sharing, Maria. But that's true. I mean, far from planning our grocery list and our day-to-day ideas, our career paths, there's an importance of putting, points on even your spiritual walk. And I think even just so that I can diversify this, I'll ask Pastor Stella, is there anything that you've planned for that came to life? Like, just to see the fruit of your planning. Have you seen fruit in your planning? Is that something you've planned for? And so by there, I planned and it came to pass.
Oh my gosh, so many. I think what I love about planning is how you're able to visualize sort of what you're dreaming about. I don't know if that makes sense. For example, way before I get like a product, maybe like for my house, I begin like small purchases towards it. For example, like if before you even move to like the next space or the next house that you're going into, I begin sort of having like vision boards. I save certain things like either on an app somewhere on what I would visualize that house or that room looking like, or that car or that bed, and I begin small purchases towards it. I don't know if that makes sense. And over the years I've noticed like it really really helps me, like to produce and have that vision come to pass. And so I get so excited because for me it just finally lets the dream, like sort of come to face and come to pass. So I have many tangible things, that I could point out and say before this came to pass, I had already, like, way in advance, months before, begun to buy into that vision by planning into it bit by bit. Whether if it's a financial goal, like something that I want to buy, I begin saving into it, or looking up into how to get that thing towards me, and stuff like that. So I have many, I don't know, but I think the funniest one would be, there's a time a while back I wanted this bed, like I was just dreaming and imagining about it. So I started bit by bit, I bought bed sheets that were a size bigger, because I was like, yeah, that bed is gonna come, it's gonna come, you know. So I mean, just visualize the thing that I think you would want to have, and so begin the planning process, and then trust God to bring it to pass and fulfillment. And so, yeah, I think for me it's always looking forward to it that way and imagining it, writing it down even if I have to. Like Marie said, I think for me one that's tangible is, a good friend of mine got me this prayer journal a while back, right? Very cute and girly. Of course, I know majama watasema, chick things. It looks lilac or whatever color that is. And I remember last month, there's something I was looking forward to getting, and I just wrote it as a prayer. So it has like pages where you can write your requests, your thanksgiving, and stuff like that. And I was like, God, I'm praying for this, I'm trusting you for this. And literally, I think 2 weeks back, yay, it got delivered. It's now there, and tangibly I can look at it and say, I made it to that goal. I had saved towards it, and I'm grateful that it's there. So yeah, I'm a big believer that, if you slowly plan, and I believe, hata kama unafeel kama Kobe ni toto, si ndio? Yes, my Kiswahili is not failing me. Ha! Those small steps, whether it will feel like it's taken 2 or 3 years to get there, slowly by slowly, try and get there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing. And I think I'd like to pick up on something that you said and through a question. So is planning kitu ya wamama? Inaonekana hapa we are just ladies.
Wow. Apana. No. Planning is for everyone. Planning ya kila mtu. Planning ninafaa kuwa ni ya kila mtu, si ya madem peke yake, na pia si ya wamama peke yake. Planning inafaa kuwa ya kila mtu juu. Planning will show you your progress. Planning is important for everyone. I mean, it will set you apart. You just see it. Yani utaona results. Like you will literally, itakufichulia ni priority kwako. Like planning will, jaribu planning. Try planning. You've tried Jesus, try planning. Yeah.
Okay, Jesus and planning. Okay, this is what we're cutting out with. Kuna mtu ameandika kwa comment section, mwanaume hanunui notebook ya pink. I think they're there in many colors, guys. If that is your excuse, kindly know there are more colors. We're talking, Maria, please make a black one for men to feel, in affect toxic masculinity. Please help them. Okay. Actually, you see, toxic masculinity. Someone has actually said it. Okay, this is a question I think I've seen in the comment section, a bit random, but I want to throw to Maria and anyone else who wants to answer. And it's all around, planning and, in quotes, God laughing. People say you plan and God laughs. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, it's true. I feel like God's been laughing at a lot of my plans over the last few years. But honestly, like, I feel like planning is good because you're giving God something to work with. Like, even when the Bible talks about, like, man plans, but the Lord's purpose prevails. And it's the Lord who orders the steps. So at least you're giving God something to work with. And even when you're planning, you're recognizing, like, my trust and hope is not in this plan that I've written down. It's in God at the end of the day. So even if it doesn't happen the way I planned, like, anyway, like, at least I've submitted something to God. I've given him something to work with. And yeah, I think someone said something like, you write your plans in pencil and then let God write it in pen. Let him erase what's not what's not part of his perfect will, but at least write something.
Oh, so invest in pencil. HB. Not mine. I forgot what color. I don't know. For B. I don't tell you. I can HB
Yes.
coming for you. Okay. Sorry. Can you kindly repeat again the site for the notebooks? I'm seeing someone is Jan is asking. Yes.
Faithfulfollower.net.
Faithfulfollower.net. I hope we got
Yes.
it, Janet. All right. Okay. Thank you. At least you clarified that. Stella, do you think you have anything else to say on the planning and God laughing at our plans?
Yeah, I don't think there isn't a season where God will sort of turn some things around. One of my devotions today was, I think, from Joyce Meyer, and I think she was talking about God's, I paraphrase now some of her thoughts, but just sort of how God's delay in certain things is probably to work in you a fruit of patience. And man, Amy, I am not a patient person. Hey, shit. The Lord is working on it. Like I wish everything could just be thrown into the microwave and, quick, easy, and delivered, right? But however, there's plans that I think work together some good in us and within us, right? Even without us knowing how to appreciate it at first. And so I think I just want to encourage some of us, who feel like they've been on journeys that have not gone as they planned per se. For example, let me just say, sometimes, you might plan to finish a degree in 4 years, but certain delays either come financially or whatever, physically something happens and the delay and the pushover seems like, man, Yani, this is not working out the way I thought, right? And some things are beyond your control, and so you have to work around that delay and appreciate that it does not make you any different from somebody who finished before you, right? And stuff like that. And I think I'm quickly reminded of somebody like Job. I think his attitude throughout some of the trials that he went through as a man, as a father, as a husband, as a businessman, because I believe he had business, as a livestock keeper, because he had camels and donkeys, as a manager, he had, servants and whatnot, helped him to appreciate that God still had his back, in that God reinstated him for the losses that he incurred over that period of time. And so, yes, as we plan, sometimes we want some things to take fast forward, like Flash Gordon. I don't know if anybody relates to who that is, but all I'm saying is, sometimes we just have to trust that, God will uphold us even through that struggle and that hardship, and that we'll probably learn some faith lessons in that journey, some patience in that journey, and get to better appreciate what we receive at the end of the day, right? Presented to us or brought to us. So yeah, I think I don't necessarily think God is some mokey type of person. He's not laughing at you because you're being silly about even planning for that kavits that you want to buy. No, 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 no. He does care for us, and I think that's why we alluded to one of the scriptures, where in Jeremiah he says, "For I know the plans that I have for you. They're to prosper you, they're not to cause you harm." And so sometimes when either there are necessary delays or withdrawals somehow along your path of life, maybe that job that you thought was the one, and God sort of sidetracks you, and brings something else along the way. Perhaps he knows that if you ended up in that space, your character was not fashioned enough to withhold the pressures of that space, or that was not where he knew you would thrive best emotionally, physically, mentally. We've talked about all of those things, and even spiritually, right? And so he probably foresees something better for you. And I know sometimes it feels like we're just faithing it up and saying, "Yay, God," but it really, 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 I am convinced, and I have to keep reminding myself to be convinced of the convictions of God, that he has so much better in store for me and for you. And so then if I do trust him, let me trust him wholly to do the very best for me and concerning me. Yeah.
Wow, thank you for that, Pastor Stella. And Etamina says, if we plan contrary to God's will, He disrupts them in time. If we plan according to His will, He involves them with time. So those are two ways He can interfere with your plans. And so it's just going back to what Maria had said or alluded to with the analogy of, write your plans in pencil and then allow Him to just come and do His will, because He knows the best for us. And I think that's important to highlight, that God is good and He fights for our good. And what Pastor Stella has said, He's not there trying to I say catfish us, but yeah, it's like, oh, you're trying to plan. You thought wrong. Let me show you how life is done this way. So yeah, He's not trying to get to corner you or to play you in some kind of way. He's a good God and He's fighting for your good, just as you're trying to consolidate everything in your life and make a good process out of it. He honors that you're taking the time. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Stella, for pointing that out. Praise says in the comment section that Proverbs 15, and she's reminding us that Proverbs 15:22 says, without counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors, they succeed. Yes, many good advisors. So that you don't also have advisors like us who are here today on your in your house, in your homes. Yeah. So there is a place for planning, and even with what you said, Pastor Stella, God, the Bible says, "For I know the plans I have for you." That God knows the plans that He has, and if He's doing it, and we are of Him, they can emulate something from Him. We can get that. He has a foresight of things, and so we should also work and move in that same breath, so that we can have a effect. That's a good, complete, fulfilling journey here on Earth. Okay. All right. I can see we're about to wrap up, but before that, I have a few questions, and I think I'd take this one to Maria and just ask. I know we've shared a lot today, and I'm sure you've touched on one of this or part of this as you've shared. But what is something special? What is the secret that you found in planning for you as Maria? Like, what is one thing or anything that you can say? Because for you to do it year in and year out, there must be something you've encountered. There must be something you've come by. You're like, I can't let go of this. I need to build up on this. So, what is that secret you can tell people today that there is in planning?
Um, for me, like it keeps going back to that whole parable of the talents. And then, having to keep going back to God and asking, okay, God, like, I know each of us have been created to do something on this earth, and all of us have some kind of gift. And then it's figuring out, like, man, how can I be faithful with what God's asked me to do? And that now is where the planning comes in, because there's years that have gone by where I've done nothing. And it doesn't mean that it's something significant that everyone claps for, but it just means, like, if I don't have some kind of goal that I'm working towards, nitajipata tu hapo like Netflix 3 a.m. because that's been me. Because there's nothing I've planned my life like I'm working towards. So for me, it's just the idea that time's going. Life on earth is not forever, and I'm answerable to God at the end of the day for how I spent my days on earth. So for me, it's almost that sense of fear, but then also wanting to be a good steward of, my education, my job, my health, just everything. So that for me is a secret, like knowing that there's purpose and how to live life on mission.
All right. Thank you for that. I think I'll take the same question to Miranda. And you can just tell us, so what is the Siri? Siri iko wapi? Siri ni where you put the planner, ama the planning paper, ama what is the secret you found in planning?
Siri ni discipline. Discipline. I think what Maria has said, plus discipline. A little bit, hata si a little bit, discipline is, hiyo ndo kenye nimegain from planning. Kujua that kulala hadi 10 a.m. haitakuletea anything. Yes, ni mzuri, yes, we'll rest, but haitakuletea kitu yoyote. Amka 7, do something. Oga, amka, plan your clothes, vaa. I don't know, kaa kwa desk yako, tafuta jobs online. I mean, badala kulala uamke. I mean, discipline, kwangu, discipline. I'll just say discipline peke yake. Discipline ndo inanifanya ni plan almost every day. Discipline ndo inanifanya, yeah, discipline. Yes. And it also shows where my priority is. I have so many talents, so I have so many things to do. Now it will show me, Aya, here number 1, here number 2. And when I do that, I'll be, a success, of which I am. And I'll be set apart. A hill, the salt of the navel.
Oh goodness, claim it, plan it. Your plan for 21. Receive. Okay, thank you for sharing. Pastor Stella, do you have anything to say that? What is the secret in planning? What have you gotten? Is it in how you plan? Is it in what you do? Is it in the route? Yes.
I think it's in the wake-up call, Amy, for me, that the time is always ticking away, right? And I love that Maria alluded to that as well. Ecclesiastes, the preacher in chapter 3 says, there is a time for everything under the sun, right? And, we alluded to even planning for relationships, like you want to date, then, get active, get out there, meet people, hang out, yeah, do that, dress up, whatever it takes, and all of that. There's a time to eat, take care of your body. I think one of the things we said earlier is as the different seasons come, it means that there's a way that you have to be proactive about knowing that your body in different seasons will require different things. There's times you need to fast because it's also good for your body. There's times you need to eat because your body requires the food so that it, in turn serves you as it ought to. The reason why we plant, right, and go and harvest and whatnot is because we understand, like we've said earlier before, we are stewards of God's resources on this earth, right? So we have to keep planning. And the secret is the discipline that, Miranda has talked about, that I tell myself, okay, the food will not come to my table. I have to go get it. I have to shop for it. I have to budget money. That means I have to work, right? I love, what verse is that? 2 Thessalonians. Kwanzaa, this one hits me so bad. It says in chapter 3, verse 11 to 12, it says, we hear that some among you are idle and disruptive, busy. They are busybodies. Bible in a kichapo. Anyway, verse 12 says, such people we command and urge in the Lord Jesus Christ to settle down and earn the food they eat. My friend, that means there's got to be something actively doing. Planning to eat means you're planning the work, you're planning the how to. So get down to the basics, right? So like we said earlier, right? Like invest in all those things around you, financially, mentally, emotionally. If there's a relationship that's strained, make a plan on how to heal that relationship this year. Don't be the busybody that keeps playing the victim card and saying, oh, this guy is, oh, that guy, or that, So there's all of that, Amy. And the secret is in the doing, by the way. As long as you just keep saying it, it won't come to pass. But when you do something, an active role, then I think it will actually come to pass in terms of your planning activity. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. I think I love what all of you are saying because it's almost intertwined, because it's like you've brought planning into your process of life and being and growth, in terms of even when you want to reconnect with old friends, or you want to build up on your friendships, or you want to be more intentional with your work. You plan to wake up earlier to do something more understood. Yeah, like you in your being, you're entertaining your planning within your being and in your bettering of yourself. And so thank you for bringing it to life, because I think sometimes people need to hear that there's a place for that, and I think we have shared that very well. And I think I want to take a question, but first back to Stella and just ask something you mentioned that made me think about, so does planning look different in different ages and seasons? Like for someone who's younger, older, does planning take a different shape as the seasons come?
Yeah, I think it's possible, I mean, the cares that some of us had when we were in college were definitely different than they are now, right? It's sort of like we were living in the moment then. but then you quickly realize as the days and the months go by that every season comes with new expectations, new roles, and whatnot. And so I think we'd want to encourage each other right here. Be very aware of the season that you're in, and that the time is fleeting, right? So it's not too late for you to start making a plan. We talked about finances. I come across this amazing platform called Africa's Pocket, and it's on Instagram. So guys who are here, you can go in and check it out. And every other day they have amazing conversations on how to invest. We talked about Safaricom. You're able to track your finances, and look at how that is going. How much money are you spending on credit, and blah blah blah. And like I said earlier, if you're getting yourself into too much debt, you need to recollect yourself and say, nini nafanya, why am I in so much debt? Like, what's my plan? What's my problem? And get to the root of it, right? And so go look at things like that. Africa's Pocket, there's autonomy classes on finances and just how to go about that, investments, and these things mean you're also looking for counsel. I love that Praise wrote that on the text line. In Proverbs 20:18, it says, plans are established by counsel or by seeking advice, right? And so, get mentors around you, people who are really good at finances, accountants, therapists. If you have a mental, stuff that you need to work out, go and get some therapy, my people. It is okay. If you need counseling, whatever it takes for you to work on you becoming a holistic person, plan for it. I think, like we've said, the seasons will vary, they'll be different. If you're unwell, sit down with a doctor, sit down with a nutritionist, do what it takes, to get the work done so that you are planning out your life purposefully and allowing God to help you make the best moves that you need to be holistically a person that is living their life out in terms of purpose. Financially, we talked about that, and I love that Maria even alluded to things like education. What's your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan in terms of how you want to enrich your mind? There's guys who are even 60. I have a friend who went back and did his architecture at the age of 40 something, and he just graduated last year. And I was like, bruh, hey, yeah, I mean, you can actually go back and still get an education and pursue a career of your passion and still have God carry you through it. So every season comes with what it does, but then you be proactive about it. Yeah, I think that's what I'll say. Yeah.
Wow, yeah. Do the work, do the work. Thank you for sharing that. And also, it's 2020, and I think some people may be discouraged because they feel like they don't have the resources enough to even pay. Oh, 2021. Sorry, I've been reminded. Yeah, people don't still, yeah, people don't have, may be shaken from planning or even dreaming and going all the way to, planning their days and their hours because they feel like they don't have the resources to even start dreaming. But you have God on your side. And so, as people have been saying in the comment section and, repeating it time and time again, that just work it out with God, just also don't go haphazardly and create chest pains for yourself at the end of the year. Because you're just dreaming wildly and not putting in the work and not consulting God and working in partnership with Him. But yeah, move in step with God even as you're doing your personal planning, your corporate planning, your whatever planning you're doing. Just move in step with God and just also make room for Him to do the thing that only He can. And even speaking of, I think I can throw our last question for the night to Maria and just ask that is there a Bible reference that you have encountered that has influenced your planning spirit or your planning space and your planning journey that you can share with people too?
Yeah, for me, it's 2 verses and they work together. It's this Proverbs 16:3, and it says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. And for me, even that idea of like He'll establish your plans is understanding that, first of all, the plans that I may make in this whole planning journey, I have to take them first back to God and see where has this desire come from. Because I think sometimes, especially in social media culture, we look at each other and compare, and then we'll create plans around someone else's timeline or what God's doing in someone else's life. And at the same time, like with this whole idea of you're committing to God, but Hebrews 11:1, when it says like, now faith is a substance of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. So even with planning, I think that's been such a major verse. It's the idea that I have faith in this, and I have confidence in my God, which is what allows me to be able to now work towards his plans. But at the same time, it's continuously taking, it's not like you create a 1-year plan today and then you don't do anything about that. It's continuously like, in that whole daily relationship with God, you keep taking it back to God and asking him, okay, this is the plan that I have. Is this in line with your plan for me? So continues to refine even that plan that you have. That's what I'd say, those two verses.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's totally true. And I think I was surprised when as we were doing researches, I was doing my personal research on this, and just think how many times the Bible talks about planning and just the different references and how you can just look at a story and be like, someone thought this through. They just didn't wake up. There are days for waking up and moving with Christ, by faith, but there are some days, major days or majority of the days, you just need to just have a plan. Because sometimes I feel like life that happens to us is not even the big stuff. It's not necessarily the buying the car or the house or the mortgage. It's in these lost minutes that we have that you didn't wake up and just take your 8 glasses of water or work out. It's in the small things that we neglect that we don't get to grow, and we lose out on the power and the beauty of planning and having that prior thought. And so I hope you've been encouraged, guys, and thank you so much to my panelists for sharing so deeply. You're sharing from a place of abundance and also a place of you're also doing it, and that's what, and it shows. First of all, it shows. And your planning has fruit. Let me just affirm that. And so thank you for sharing so much on this platform. I hope people have been blessed. Once again, Maria, I keep forgetting that phrase, but honestly, I've not forgotten. I just want you to say it. So for people who are looking for that planner or looking for a planner, yes, if can you kind of tell them once again where they can find it? Yes.
Yeah, they can find it on faithfulfollower.net.
All right, faithfulfollowers. Yes, you can get your planner, and also there's a journal. Yeah, if someone wants a journal, they can get there. Yes. If you're looking for fresh start, I know some days have passed you by, but it's never too late to start. So start today. Imagine 5 things. Just take a planner or any piece of paper and just map out some days, 5 days, the next 5 days of your life. Just try and test it and see how that's gonna go, and see the fruit of just the prior thought that you put into things, the power of HB pencils, because I'm about to buy a pack of them, and then the power of also letting God come through and do his thing. And yeah, so thank you so much, guys, for joining our conversation. I hope you have been blessed. Plan. We say Jesus and therapy, we say Jesus and something. Today is Jesus and planning. Yeah, there's a space for both of them for you to be a complete human being, experience the full life that God wanted you to have on this earth. And so I hope you've been encouraged. We have been encouraged. I'm already thinking what I'm going tomorrow. If you see me tomorrow, please know it was planned, very much planned. Plan your hairstyle, your earrings. Yeah, I'm on it. So thank you so much, panelists. For everyone who's joining us in the comment section, asanteni sana for being here yet again, another Saturday, another night. It's a sacrifice. Echamina had said he had planned to be here at 10 to 11, and that's a good start. Plan to be here every 10 to 11 p.m. Every Saturday we'll be here. I am Siri Courses Pray, Plan, Pray. Akimi ni Mkikuyu. Kinyakeyo ni tongue twister. Pray, Plan, Pray. We got you. We are on that vibe. So thank you so much, everyone. You are welcome so much to our services tomorrow. For those who want to physically move your feet kidogo, we are live and we're also physically there in ICC Nairobi, so you can come for our services. First service, second service, and third service. That's 8:15, 10:15, and 12:15. We'll be there. These spaces should be somewhere in the compound, so you can come if you want to know more about planning or any other thing. we'll have HB pencils. We're going to buy HB pencils for people, by the way. It's a thing now. We have to. We're branding this HB manenos. Yes. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us. I hope you have a restful evening. May God bless you. And I think I'll just speak a blessing over you that comes from the book of Psalms 24. Yes, 20 verse 4, and it says, may God grant you according to your heart's desires and fulfill all your purpose. So even as you're planning, may you move in step with God. May He bless you, may He increase you and keep you. So thank you so much for joining us. Mbarikiwe sana and have a restful evening. Bye-bye.